So I'm moving to Japan. Obviously not like right at this moment. I'm not going till this summer. But I thought it was about time that I posted a new video, especially with such a big life update on the way. I can't film while driving though, so I mean you'll hear a bit from me in a bit. So basically, I bet it's no surprise to anyone that I have essentially been dreaming of getting to Japan and living there for at least a year or two, essentially since I was a middle school student, which is also the same time that I decided I wanted to be a teacher. And I don't know what it was about, this past year, maybe the political climate in North America. But anyways, I decided that next year, and I'm working on academic years, so September 2025, I was going to be in Japan, and I didn't care how I was going to make it happen, but I was going to make it happen. So I pursued every route I could find. I applied for the JET program, I applied for a bachelor's degree program that's really cool, and I applied to every international school position that I could find. And one of those avenues worked out. Honestly, kind of a few of them did, but those are some stories for once I get inside. Yeah.
Why, hello there. No, no. Which one are you again? Drax. Yeah, hi, Drax.
Yeah, and hello to you too, Rocket.
Oh, hey, you still exist. Hey, Lily.
So let's analyze the routes I followed while I pet this delightful kitty who is. Anyways, uh, okay. So JET program. That was my least favorite option, mostly because I am a certified teacher currently in Canada, and I would be downgrading if I became an ALT. But again, I was pursuing all routes because I didn't know what was going to work out. So I applied to JET. I did make it to the interview stage, but thankfully another option of mine to move panned out, so I didn't end up going that route. The degree program. Tell you what, I'm actually super bummed I had to turn that option down because I don't need a third bachelor's degree, and I certainly can't afford one. But it is such a cool program. It's the Modern Japanese Studies program at Hokkaido University. And if I had known about this earlier, before I already incurred a bunch of debt and 2 degrees, I totally would have pursued it. It's everything I'm passionate about learning. Would it lead to a career? Probably not. Um, but no, I'm still really bummed because I got accepted to the program. I applied, I got to the interview stage. I apparently did great in my interview. I'm making that up, but I did get accepted to the program. But I did have to turn it down because, again, another route of mine worked out, and it's one that makes money, doesn't cost me money. So then it was the international schools, which I wasn't counting on. I am a certified teacher, but I'm only currently in my second year of teaching, and I know that Japan historically is a very competitive destination for international teachers. And usually a lot of these postings are looking for people with master's degrees and like 5 years experience minimum. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not me. But I was applying anyways. And I had a couple interviews with some different schools. And one of them went really well. And I was like, is this happening? Like, oh my gosh, this is great. Um, and that's a story that I need to sit down for because my arm's starting to hurt. But here's what happened. I applied to a school for an English literature job, which is my passion. It's what I studied, and it's what I really want to teach. I'm currently teaching French because there are no French teachers in New Brunswick, and the moment they learn I can that I know French, they're like, "You're going to teach French." And I'm like, "Okay." It's an English position, and I was really excited. And my interview went well, and the head of school was great, and I had, several interviews, and everyone thought I was great, and they checked my references, and apparently that went really well, and I was like, I got this in the bag. I didn't actually think that, because I have zero self-esteem and confidence, but I was feeling like my chances were pretty good. And then, and then I got the email. I was rejected. Not because of anything on my behalf. The rejection email said I was a fantastic candidate and that my references were great, but the school had two openings they were looking to fill, and they had interviewed with a couple who could fill both positions at once. And with international schools, kind of relying on their own funding and having to keep financials in mind, I was bummed. Yeah, of course I was bummed. But I understood. And I had another interview coming up with another school, and at the time I hadn't rejected JET, I hadn't rejected the university program, so I thought, okay, everything's fine. Like I'm bummed, but things will be okay. they even said that, that my apparently, again, I was a great candidate. Don't forget, I was a great candidate. And the head of school was like, "We'll keep your information on file in case anything comes up in the future." And I'm thinking that means like a couple years from now, like in the future, not this hiring season, because they just filled the only positions they had open. And then a week later passes, and I get an email, and I look at it, and I'm like, didn't you? This is from the school that rejected me. Why are you emailing me again a week later? So I open the email, and they're like, "So, a new position opened up. Are you interested?" And I was like, "Oh, of course I'm interested." So a new position opened up. Another teacher, I suppose, told them a bit later that they weren't planning on coming back next year, and it was a position I'm qualified to fill. And they had already interviewed me, and they already thought my references were great and thought I was a good candidate. So they just kind of hit me up. They're like, "You want to do it?" So I didn't even have to re-interview or anything. I kind of just said, "Yeah." And then I got a contract, and then I signed it, and everything was good. And I'm like, okay. So the downside is it is an English second language position. So it's not English literature, which is what I want to teach. Having said that, I am qualified. I teach French as a second language currently, so the skills are transferable, and I did get my ESL certificate during my Bachelor of Education. So I am certified to teach ESL. It's just not what I want. But it is my foot in the international teaching world. It is my foot into Japan, and it's also part of it's IB English, English as a second language that I'm teaching, and I really want to teach the IB program. I'm also certified to do that. So it's like 9 out of 10. If it was English literature, it'd be perfect, but it's almost there. Yeah, and I signed the contract, and pretty much it was exam week, I think, at the time. So after my students did their exams, I just started like going around the school finding every staff member I could to just be like, "Look at this." I had printed my contract. I was just like putting in people's faces like, "Look at what I just signed." And everyone's very excited for me, and it's great. I do feel bad because I actually really do like my current school. The admin team is fantastic, and considering all the terrible things I hear about teachers and education and the state of things, especially a lot of people seem to have really bad admins. I love my school and I love my admin. And I do feel bad leaving because I know that my province of New Brunswick has a really bad teacher shortage right now, especially teachers who are qualified to teach French. Listen, I'm barely qualified to teach French. The only reason I'm qualified is because I know more French than my students do. Again, I also say that, but I did score advanced. Don't get me wrong, I am qualified. Um, but I don't know if I'm gonna stay in Japan in the future. I might come back, but this is something I've always wanted to do, and I'm gonna do it. Now, unfortunately, there have been some negatives to this. Um, the primary one being my relationship ended because I've accepted this role. I kind of knew that was going to happen because my partner had previously tried a long distance relationship, and that was only just province difference, not a 12-hour international difference. But don't get me wrong, it was amicable. He fully supported my dream, and he's very excited for me to go. And it was very sad, and we both cried, and we're still keeping in touch. Everything's fine. But it is a sad reality that, sometimes following your dreams, even if things are really, really great, that you are gonna lose some things as part of it. So that sucks. But it is a dream of mine I have had since middle school, and I've been trying to pursue this since middle school in a way, and especially since my international exchange from 2020 got canceled because the global pandemic and all. It does feel good for this to finally be happening. And my dad's really proud of me for making this decision, and I'm hoping to get a few words from him sometime today. I'm visiting right now. So we're gonna see what he has to say about all this. So, Father, you have said you're very proud of me for taking this opportunity to move to Japan. Tell me more about your thoughts.
You've been talking about Japan since earlier than high school, for sure. You've been manga obsessed, Japanese obsessed, culture obsessed. There's a lot of obsessed part of this statement here. I'm glad this is going on YouTube for your audience. If you didn't do this, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life, period. Even more so than having to have a little breakup.
Well, a little breakup, just downplay that. 2 years of happiness.
Yeah, tossed it out the window. But that being said, you're going for 2 years of adventure. This is something that, quite honestly, I wish I had had opportunity for when I was young. Didn't know. Grew up in a little tiny spot. I'm glad you had the opportunities that you have had and been able to capitalize on this. this is a big deal. I really hope you don't get into the whole lonely syndrome over in Japan thing, but whatever. I think you'll fit in quite well, and I do think you'll adapt to the culture.
Yeah, and how many things are you going to ask me to buy for you?
Oh, so many. Oh, so many. The land of Pentax, the land of Seiko, the land of Casio,
The land of K
the
cars.
land of K cars. There may be a car come across the border.
Well, I mean,
Don't count that thing. Hey, look, there's our Japanese car right there. That one.
Mitsubishi. Right, it is Mitsubishi.
It is a Mitsubishi.
Mitsubishi.
That came from the plant over in Japan. So, unfortunately, the Japanese car that we're sitting in was built in Kentucky. Oh, can't have it all, but at least it's still a Japanese brand.
Very well. Toyota forever.
Toyota forever, at least 8 more years.
Woo! So what's next? Well, some of the tedious, boring visa application steps. I have to send a scan of my passport and a passport-esque photo to somebody who works at the school I got hired at. They're going to apply for my certificate of eligibility, and then I get that, and then I apply for my visa. So kind of just some boring stuff. Thankfully, packing is not yet a thing, but it will be, and it will not be fun. Another not fun thing is that I will have to rehome my poor Ratos and good old Macadoodle back there. I am gonna miss them. I thought about bringing them with me, but I just think rats don't live very long, and I think the trip would be really stressful for them. So I'd rather them have a calmer, yet more heartbreaking kind of time out here. Heartbreaking for me. I don't think they're gonna care that much. But yeah, just teaching French for the next couple months, and slowly but surely packing up my life to move abroad. I chose this shirt on purpose today, could you tell? It's gonna be good. I'm working on practicing and learning a little more Japanese before I go. I'm consuming a lot of content from creators who are in Japan, and I'm just getting hyped. I can't wait to sightsee. I can't wait to be able to eat more konbini food. Oh, how I miss the konbini. No, there's a lot more I'm excited about than just that, I promise. I'm really hoping I'm going to be living in a fairly large city, but probably closer to the school, which is not in the city. And I'm really excited. I have this just like, it's not fancy, I just have this like daydream about leaving my apartment and finding like a little tiny shrine just nearby that I can go, pay my respects at daily. It's just calm and simple. I want to get like familiar with the local grocery store and have them like recognize me and become a regular, which won't be hard as one of the few white people in town. I'm not moving to Tokyo. So Tokyo is not where I'll be living, which is I'm fairly confident is kind of the foreigner hub of Japan. I'm going to be further south, which I am not excited about. I am moving in the summer, and my memory unfortunately serves me well about July in Tokyo. So August further south in Japan is not appealing, but alas, the problem with moving and living in Japan is you gotta be there for all the seasons. So that'll be fun. But I'm pumped and I'm excited and I'm glad I finally put this video together. And I mean, I'm gonna try to make some content before I go, but honestly, I know what you're looking forward to, and it's not what I can find and do in St. John, New Brunswick. It's what I can find and do in Japan. I'm trying to remember now. I don't know if I want to say specifically where I'm gonna go. I might as well. I'm going to Hiroshima. And yeah, it's gonna be good. I wish I had a more entertaining end to this, but I don't. So I'm just gonna show off some anime figures I got recently, and then my lovely outro is gonna play. So thank you for watching. God, this is what happened. I don't record for a while. I forget my whole intro. All right, no, it is just thanks you. I could cut this and edit it, but I don't have a proper computer, so I'm just gonna have to put these clips together willy-nilly on my phone and hope for the best. Okay, let's try this again. Pull it together. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up to you, and I will see you in Japan. Woo, look at my figure collection. These ones are new. I can't wait to buy anime figures in Japan.